So good afternoon, everybody. Jermaine Campbell here from Commercial Director of Elite Dynamics with my colleague Nathan Williams, Professional Service Director, who has total responsibility of the CRM practice. I'd like to thank you for joining us on one of our webinars. This is a series of webinars that we've put together. This one's focusing on EliteCRM and some of the benefits that it will bring to a holiday park operator in general, but specifically with regards to navigating your way through some of the challenges that COVID-19 has brought. Just a couple of housekeeping tasks. I've muted everybody so that we have a fluid presentation. Mindful that we have restricted this to an hour and don't really want it to run on too late because I can appreciate you guys are busy. We have a 10 to 15 minute section allocated at the end of the presentation stroke demonstration whereby you guys get the opportunity to ask questions. There is a section in the GoToMeeting that allows you to ask your questions in the chat. So if you want to type them in as we go along, Nathan will address each one that you can within the allocated time towards the end. If you want to remain anonymous, when you send the chat, if you just change where it says everyone to Nathan, then it'll only go directly to Nathan. So we put together an agenda to allow us to walk our way through the presentation. Primarily, welcome myself and Nathan. We've introduced Nathan. Will talk a little bit deeper about his experiences and the functionality that he thinks will benefit you. But one of the things that we want to start with was what is CRM? We get many questions from our staff members as well as from the people who operate on park. You know, the difference between a CRM system and a prospecting system. So Nathan's going to try and elaborate on that just to give a degree of clarity. And then through presentation and demonstration, we're going to be answering a couple of questions. For example, how will CRM help my holiday park in general and in specific? What is the difference between CRM and Elite CRM, and what have Elite done to CRM to name it slightly differently? We will then outline the benefits of implementing CRM and thinking about CRM as a key application within the business. And as mentioned before, we'll have a section on Q&A where Nathan will field any questions that you've raised. Okay. Just thought to put this slide on just to illustrate the size and magnitude of what we're trying to achieve here. So we've got a number of customers. All of these customers on here actually use the Elite Park solution, but many of them have also adopted the Elite CRM platform in its various guises, whether it's specifically for marketing automation or whether they actually use a CRM platform to manage their leads through to appointment, through to booking, etc. So there is a number of household names there on the list, and I'm sure that with the holiday industry being as close-knit as it is, I'm sure you know you've got contacts in many of those that you could ask them what their experience has been like in terms of deploying and implementing CRM and the benefits that it brings. So this is going to be very difficult for me because I usually talk a lot, but I've committed to Nathan. I'm going to let him drive it, so much so I'm not actually going to join you guys and put myself on mute and just enjoy the presentation. So Nathan, can I hand over to you, please, sir? And I'll catch up with you at the end.
Thank you very much, Jermaine. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nathan Williams, a Professional Services Director for Elite Dynamics, as Jermaine has introduced. I've worked with CRM and the concept of Dynamics and CRM for nearly 12 years now, and with Elite Dynamics on the holiday parks industry for the last 2 years. But I've natted on and Jermaine's natted on, so I think it's probably best that we jump into the demonstration. I'll go through the concepts as Jermaine discussed. I'm just closing the presentation for a second to jump into CRM, and I'll start talking about the concepts. And I encourage you to ask questions, and as Jermaine said, at the end of this presentation, I'll address those as we go through. Okay, so I'm showing Dynamics CRM on screen. So this is our demo system, and I'll talk to you about the concept of it, but I just wanted to talk about the concept of CRM, because what I've noticed as a effectively outsider coming in to the holiday parks industry is that CRM as a concept, that acronym, you know, that customer relationship management tag, is not really well thought of or well known. CRM as a solution is designed to centralize your data in one system. It's as simple as that, with the added bonus of putting the customer and the customer profile at the heart of the platform. CRM achieves that by putting past, present, and future activity, and the future activity, obviously, if you decide to record it, against the customer's record. And the customer record then becomes the beating heart of your CRM. You'll be able to go into a customer's record, for example, and I'll show you as part of this webinar, and see all of their past bookings. And if they're an owner, their deals and their deal history. You'll be able to see their marketing and customer service history, and all of their activity and email engagement, maybe phone calls, maybe tasks. It's really a good source of information for sales, marketing, and customer service across the piece. And that's the core deliverable of a CRM platform. One version of the truth centralized in one area. Putting that customer record to one side, though, CRM also holds all of the peripheral records. So all of the lead information, the deal information, the booking information, and I'll come on to this, the marketing and the marketing insight, the customer service and the customer service insight. And you can use all of that data to start to formulate your next sales, marketing, or customer service strategy. Lot of mumbo jumbo, lot of terminology. So let's jump into the demo. Okay, so on screen, we've got what CRM likes to call a dashboard. And it is effectively, I put it together to show me a sales overview of my holiday park. So you can see in the top two segments, I've got my current active bookings, and I've got that broken down by park. So we can see the performance at a park level across active bookings. And then I've done some financial analysis. But you can analyze and segment and report upon all of the different variables. And I'll show you that again as we go through today, including grades, park codes, salesperson, and as you can see on the top right hand corner, the financial analysis. So we can see our most popular booking months as a cumulative value of that booking. These are all interactive charts as well. I can expand that chart. I can drill in to our most popular booking month, and I can filter down, for example, by grade. So of those, what was the dominant grade? And we can see that gold is the dominant grade for that month. And all of this is interactive, and I can see the records behind it as I go through the webinar. As I scroll down my dashboard, I've got some deals analysis. So of all of our deals, what are the most popular models? And of all of our deals, which parks do they reside upon? And again, you can slice and dice this as you see fit, and I'll go through the data again. And then some leads analysis from a sales perspective. So of our leads, what types are coming in? 3 booking leads, 13 membership leads, 8 newsletter signups, and 25 sales leads. And then our lead generation rate. When are our most leads coming in, and of what type? And again, this is just an example of pulling some sales data together. But as you'll see from the drop down, comes with of dashboards, and it encourages you as a user, as a manager, and as an overall organization to put together your own dashboards for your visualizations, your reports. And you can see some of the things here, the customer service dashboards, all of the marketing dashboards that come out of the box, and the sales dashboards you can make use of. And incidentally, you can see web forms here. I'll come on to web forms and the extensibility of the platform a bit later on. So hopefully that makes sense, that as a dashboard, you can pull together reports, analytics that make your life as a salesperson, as a manager, or as an overall organization view a lot easier. And again, these are dynamics. So they'll always update. Contacts and customers. What you'll be able to see as we go through contacts, these are effectively just people, so people profiles. But you can then segment and slice and dice these based on your own parameters. I built out system views, for example, to show all our owners. What that means is when a contact gets added to the system who is a owner or who has a active deal or completed deal, they automatically go into this list. And then you could just pick up this list and you could do whatever you want with it. You can add them to a marketing list, you can email them, you can run marketing campaigns on them. It's very easy to do. You'll also see some of the other views that I've created. All holidaymakers, for example. That will be a filtered list of everybody who's been a holidaymaker with me as a park. And then you can go further in terms of that segmentation. So I don't just want all holidaymakers, I want last 12 months holidaymakers. And I can go further than that and further than that. Last 12 months holidaymakers who reside in the Northwest, who have spent more than £10,000 with us cumulatively. Because the data is in this CRM platform, your ability to segment and interrogate is exponentially increased. So hopefully that makes sense from a filtered segmentation perspective on the contact level. I'll go through some sales segmentation on leads, booking, and deals a bit later. But I'm going to drill into a contact record now, and I'm going to search for Nathan Williams. So I've found Nathan Williams. and I can see that result being returned. So now I'm going into the core contact record. And the important thing here is that this is the culmination of this as this person to us, not just from a sales perspective. It could be customer service, it could be marketing, it could be operations. Effectively, this is that customer's profile. So we've got the standard information on the left-hand side, their first name, last name, etc. We've got their home address, and then we've got some maps integration, which is all interactive, all integrated automatically as part of the CRM platform. Quite handily, CRM is telling me that I have a task overdue for this customer. So you can use CRM with the Outlook integration and the mobile phone app to manage your activity. So if as a salesperson, I wanted to put a task against this customer, I can see that I've got the task to gather feedback on the CRM webinar due today. Incidentally, that type of activity management is all part of the inbuilt CRM platform. So if I had an appointment with this customer, it would appear in my Outlook calendar as a sales or marketing person, and it would also then appear in my customer's timeline, which is here. And while I'm talking about this timeline, guys, this is the history of all of our interaction with that person. So we can see here that Nathan had an email for an initial follow-up. We can see there's a task due today to gather feedback on the CRM webinar. We can see that he had a phone call on the 27th of April to discuss a maintenance plan. And then further, you've got the marketing information. So we can see that Nathan was sent an email. I'll come on to this a bit later, but Nathan was sent an email where he opened it, and Nathan was sent an email where he clicked it. So he clicked an email from this particular email blast, and this was a URL he clicked. I'll come on to the marketing add-on and the marketing complexity as we go through the system. So that timeline, just to emphasize, guys, is the overall activity history that's happened for that customer. It's a great way to see what they've recently communicated with you as a park about, whether it's customer service, sales, or marketing. On the right-hand side, we've got some marketing information. So if this person was part of an originating lead, so if they inquired and then they went through a qualification criteria, you'd see their original touch point with you as a park or you as an organization. And then we have all of their recent bookings, deals, and case history. Now you'll notice that this information here is not in this format, in this text format, because these are called associated records. And that's the beauty of CRM. Everything in CRM is relational. So this deal is related to Nathan Williams as a customer. And if I click into this deal, and I'll go through this in a bit more information shortly, this is all the information specific to that deal attributed to Nathan Williams as a customer. Further to this, guys, this is just the front summary form for that contact. If I go to the details tab, we have some more personal information about that person. So we can see his gender, his mark, if you decide to capture it. Now, the beauty of CRM is some of our customers say to us, well, we want to be able to include likes and dislikes and you know, their children's names. Some of our customers don't. It is so extensible, it is so customizable, and Microsoft encourage that as a platform, that we tailor and personalize CRM to most customers' requirements, really. So you can see all the information here, any other personal notes, and then you have all of the related entities here. So all of Nathan Williams' historic leads, all of Nathan Williams' historic bookings and deals, and I'll come on to customer service and cases where typically you capture any post-holiday or deal feedback or potentially complaints. Okay. One of the things I wanted to show you, just to touch on the Microsoft platform and the extensibility, is also here. We can see that the owner of this record is Jack Vernon. Now, Jack Vernon is a member of Elite Dynamics, and the reason that there's a red icon next to his name is this is the inbuilt Microsoft Teams integration. So this is harnessing the capability and the integration functionality of the Microsoft stack, which I'll come on to a bit later. We can see that this is actually telling me that on Teams, on the communication, which is very similar to Skype, which is Teams, that Jack is busy at the minute, and I've got his information here. So with one click, I can internally start to chat with Jack. And that's the power of the Microsoft stack inbuilt with CRM. So that's a contact overview and the contact 360 perspective. So let's now go into the sales side of things. So the leads, bookings, and deals entities specific to the sales cycle. I talked earlier about the customer being the heartbeat of the system, but it wouldn't be the heartbeat of the system if it didn't have these sale or peripheral sales, marketing, or customer service records attributed to them. So on a lead, we have all of that basic inquiry information. But before we go into that, we can do analysis at a lead level, and I can show you from a salesperson's perspective of all the leads in the system. Now, taking my hat off as a user, I might be a sales manager. Andrew Blackie as a salesperson has got 40 leads and Nathan Williams has only got 9. I might want to divvy out those 40 a little bit more adequately across my sales team, so I can click my 40 from the interactive charts, and that automatically filters down these records. And with a couple of clicks, I can assign these leads to other sales members. I can also flick into more core park-based analysis. So of our leads, what different types are they? And I can see, like I said earlier, booking, membership, newsletter signups, and sales leads. Again, these charts are all interactive. You can see in the current set of records, I have 49 records. If I click on these 25, it automatically brings those leads down to the 25 sales leads, but I can drill down further. So if I wanted to look at, of the 25 sales leads, what are their preferred areas? I can click on this, I can go to a pie chart, and I can see that of those 25 leads, 16 prefer Wales, inevitably, 8 prefer the Northwest, and 1 is in the south of England. And further to that, if I click on that 16, I have my 16 leads that prefer Wales, so I can do maybe a marketing blast to those with a couple of clicks. Okay, so let's go into the lead record. Oh, just before I do that, sorry, the ability to then customize your views. So if I wanted to see all leads opened this week, all leads opened last week, older than 6 months, specific booking leads, leads that are particularly of a certain value or a certain customer or a certain unit or a certain park, you're encouraged as part of your CRM platform to personalize it and make it relevant to you as a business. Okay, so I'll go into a lead record now. And leads can get into the system in many, many different ways. So we could talk about leads getting into the system from the website, where we integrate your web forms. They can come in via automatic email conversion. So if you had inquiry at parka.com, that email can automatically be converted into a lead in CRM. There is extensibility for things like WhatsApp and text integration, and obviously manual entry as well. So we can see here that we've got a lead. It's for Nathan Williams. It's a pre-season booking lead, and he's inquiring about a holiday, 4 nights, 2 adults, 2 children, etc., etc. All of this information is relatively standard because we populated it as part of the website integration. But what you'll be able to see is that we're using then CRM from an automation perspective, not just, and I'll come on to customer journeys, but not just for outbound communication. This was actually an email internally to the sales team to say, a new lead has been created, here are the details. So the sales team would then get a notification to go in and be able to follow up that lead immediately. And obviously that communication, that interaction could then be stored against the lead in the timeline, so you can see up to what point that lead is. If you're booking appointments, for example, with that lead, you'll be able to see the appointment schedule as part of that timeline. We do have further information on the lead. So some of the details, some of the marketing information, their preferred methods of contact, and effectively GDPR. And one of the things that we built into EliteCRM, I don't want to harp on about EliteCRM too much. I want to talk about the benefits of CRM as a platform. But one of the things we do as part of our Elite Dynamics stack is that depending upon the lead type, you can see that this one is sales. If it was booking, we have find availability. Now that find availability button is a direct integration to Elite Parks to check the availability of the information submitted on this lead. With one click, it sends the information down to allow that salesperson to find the availability for that inquiry. If this was a ownership inquiry, so a particular unit inquiry, that button changes to create deal. So it then sends you down to the deal stacker in Elite Parks with one click. What we found is customers are finding that the salespeople prefer that option because they don't have to navigate through certain things to get to stacking a deal. If you want further information about that, we can send it as part of the follow-up from this webinar. But leads, effectively, you want to get them through to either a booking or a deal. So I'm just going to come out with this record. Oh, and just as I come out with this record, CRM has inbuilt duplicate detection. So in terms of data management and keeping things clean, obviously with one version of the truth, with it being a customer 360 perspective, we want one version of the truth, not duplicate records. CRM has told me we think there's a duplicate lead in the system as part of this. Do you want to view it? Do you want to merge it? And you can personalize all of your matching rules as you go through the system. So I'm going to move past this now, and I'm going to move into bookings. Okay, so very similar to leads. A lead is an inquiry of different types, and you collect whatever information you want. Bookings are obviously the core information about that booking. Before I go into a booking record though, I just want to show you some of the segmentation and analysis we put on bookings. So you can see of all of our bookings, what are our dominant grades. We can see by park. We can see, like I said, most popular bookings by months or from a monetary perspective. And we can see what are the overall grades generating us the most money. Now that is not limited, guys. It is completely open to whatever charts and dashboards you want to put together based on the data you have in your CRM system. Further from bookings, if I wanted to look at bookings arriving this month, if I wanted to look at bookings arriving this week, there are inbuilt filters into CRM that allow you to have effectively what this is called as a dynamic list. Arriving this month is a filter in the background, and actually I can show you it. This is called Advanced Find, which is your core reporting tool. And you can see that I've got arrival date is this month. It's no code. It's nothing that is very complex to do. It's very encouraged to end users who are not even technical to put these views together, because with filters like this month, today, next 7 days, etc., it encourages the non-code based approach to go with dynamic lists. So as this moves to the next calendar month, as this moves to July or August, this view will automatically update with the bookings arriving in that month. And you'll see I put together my own view for important bookings. And coincidentally, Mr. Jermaine Campbell's in there. So let's drill into that. Excuse me, just getting a drink. As you'd expect then, we got all the core booking information. The arrival dates, the departure dates, the park, is it confirmed, adults, number of children, the plot, the grade, etc. The key thing here though is that this information is used as part of our customer journeys. We have best practice templated customer journeys for pre-holiday, check-in and post-holiday journeys. I'll come on to those a bit later, but effectively before your holiday, you get an automated series of emails which you personalize to that customer. So 12 weeks out, 6 weeks out, we do checks on if there's outstanding amounts, because we hold that in the more information area. Do they have an outstanding amount? If they do, and it's come to 6 weeks out, then give them a warning that their booking's going to be cancelled, that type of thing. We do things like on their arrival date, send them their arrival instructions. And we also do things like on the departure, or 2 days after their departure, send them the survey. And I'll come on to that and how that works, but it's all automatic and it's using the automation engine that comes with Microsoft. Again, like I said, you've got all the information about the booking. If you can also do then some analysis on the grades, you can do some analysis on the promotions, on the if there was cancellations, on the prices, and we also bring in all of the booking extras, which will allow you to then do reporting on, find me all the bookings that, for example, had the activity package or had the free booking offer and that type of thing, because all the information sits against the booking and then sits against the customer. All about the relationships, all about the inbuilt functionality of CRM. Okay, so that's bookings. I'll move on to deals. So deals for ownership. Again, lots and lots and lots of different segmentation, lots of analysis of deals by park, lots of analysis. On the deal side of things, you've got much more functionality around things like sales pipelines, sales leaderboards, what salesperson's performing the best, the worst. If you wanted to incorporate it, you don't have to. You know, your top deals, it's a lot more from a monetary perspective. But again, all the slicing and dicing you wish. So deals that have maintenance, deals that don't have maintenance, open this week, close this week, that type of thing. And we encourage you to build that out. But let's go into the deal record itself. So again, a lead is typically converted into a deal. Well, hopefully anyway. And we have the information about that deal. The customer, the budget, some description, information about the customer at that point in time, the key information about the deal on the right-hand side, so the amounts paid, when it's completed, the status, the stage, all the information you expect. But again, information that we would use to automate out to the customer, information we'd use to automate things internally to say to sales staff, we need to follow up on this deal because we're approaching the finish date. We need to follow up on this deal because there's an amount outstanding and we're approaching the finish date. That type of interaction and automation. We've also got a lot more information on the deal, finance information. So the amount, the prices, the finance companies, the site fees, the unit specification, which is obviously going to allow us to do analysis on find me everybody who owns, in this case, a sensation, or find me everybody who owns a unit that's got more than 2 bedrooms. And then other information, who was the salesperson that carried out that deal, and in this case, insurance company and trade deal. But again, we integrate the deal extras as well, directly from Elite Parks. So as part of this deal, you can see that there was decking included at a price of £1,000, but they ended up paying £500 because obviously there was a bit of negotiation, some deep clean and some leisure passes. Again, just more information. Information and data in CRM is absolutely key. It's key to being able to interrogate the system. It's key to being able to decide on your next sales, marketing, or customer service strategy. One of the other things I wanted to, well, two things I wanted to talk about on the deal before I move on is the extensibility of this platform. So this image here, this icon that you can see, is something called a business process flow, and it's out of the box. It's intended to be personalized to your requirement, but it's intended to be a business process flow for salespeople to follow to, in this case, complete a deal. It could be a process flow for completing a booking. It could be a process flow for handling a maintenance or safety test or whatever, but it drives consistency if you're going to use CRM from a processing perspective. And then further to the extensibility, one of the things you'll see on the timeline, which we haven't seen so far, is this notion here. This is a signed document returned by DocuSign. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 and then effectively CRM is a platform which has hundreds of thousands of apps. One of those apps in this case being DocuSign. And we can plug DocuSign into CRM and we can automatically distribute the contract to this customer. We can automatically distribute it or manually distribute it. It's dependent upon you as your requirement as a park. But the great thing about the integration is we send it to the customer. Once it's signed by that customer, automatically against the deal in CRM, and you get a notification as a salesperson or as a sales manager when all parties have signed their contract. And that's not just specific to deal. This is just an example here where we've integrated with deals. That can be applied to any record you want. So it's important to understand that typically, and I know it's a bit of a cliche, but typically, if there's a bit of functionality you want CRM to do, there's usually an app for it. So that concludes the sales side of what we do with CRM and the data that we hold and the ability to interrogate. So I'm now going to move on to the marketing side of CRM. So I'm going to navigate down the left-hand corner, and what we can see is we've got our effectively module set. You've got your key modules, you know, the sales module, the marketing module, customer service, and we've added part management and surveys, which I'll come on to. So if I drill into marketing, marketing is very much built around marketing lists, events, campaigns, and then marketing analysis. Marketing lists are relatively simple. They are effectively collation of people from a dynamic or static perspective, which means dynamic means they're automatically updated. Static means they are collected by you as part of your criteria. Find me all owners under the age of 60 who live in Wales, for example. That might be a static marketing list. A dynamic marketing list might be bookers arriving this week, which is a consistently updating marketing list that will allow a marketeer to come in, pick up that marketing list and do something on it. That could be a communication to all bookers arriving this week about promotions you have on park. And you know that the people on that list are accurate because it's all automatic in the background. What you also use the marketing module for, or you could use it for, is campaign and event management. So you can do marketing campaigns and very easily assess the value of those, or in this case, you can use CRM to manage events. I've done an example event here, an owner's dinner, and you can see the start dates, the end dates. I've put a bit of narrative around the offer just as an example. The timeline, I can see that I've got some activities to do, order the catering and send the invites. I've tied some marketing lists to my campaign so that I know that when I come into my campaign, with 2 clicks, I can send the invites out to these people. Any leads that have been generated as part of that campaign, and then I said the campaign activities. Now, the interesting thing about the leads generated by this campaign is you can attribute costs and budgets to your events or your campaigns in CRM. As you then go through a sales cycle, leads, opportunities, etc., you can then analyze automatically the value of that event versus the return on investment. And I can come on to that a bit later if you need me to. But I mentioned activity cost. You can allocate activity cost, budgets, and the total cost of that campaign. And also, quite importantly, it's also at the bottom, but I think it's very important. You can use the inbuilt response and RSVP management. So you could gather RSVPs from the web. You could have even an event management process where people respond via the web, a sign-up form. It comes straight into the CRM against their event, and that distributes their QR code for them to scan as they come to that event. Okay, that's enough about campaigns, I think. So I'm now going to move on to Power MailChimp and MailChimp blasts. Now, it's important to say at this point, okay, what I'm about to show you is the marketing intelligence and automation. We use, as part of this demo, as part of this webinar, the MailChimp integration, but there are a plethora of marketing add-ons, .mailer, .digital, Click Dimensions, Microsoft Marketing, etc., that you can plug in. And all they're geared to do is to gather your open rates, your click-throughs, your unsubscribes into your CRM system. So if I go into a sent blast, that's what they call it, apparently, and I jump to the dashboard, as part of this marketing campaign, I can see that I had 12 successful deliveries. I can see that I had 71 opens cumulatively. I can see total number of clicks as part of my hyperlinks, who clicked them, who unopened, and who unsubscribed. Bit of analytics built in here. But the most important thing, I think, is as we scroll down, is the analysis by person. So we can see that as part of this blast, Jermaine Campbell has interacted with this email 50 times, Nathan Williams 10, and then at the bottom of the pile, Jack Vernon and Kim Russell 1 each. But the great thing is, as I said before, is these activities, the open rates, the click-throughs, the unsubscribes, you can see this blue hyperlink here. If I click through to it, it takes me back to the contact record, and you can see the interaction at a contact level. So you see the marketing interaction at a person-by-person level, and back to my MailChimp blast, you see a reporting level at the actual marketing campaign as well. Okay, the marketing side of things is obviously building up marketing lists, campaigns, and distributing emails, and or maybe as part of your customer journey, maybe as part of a, I don't know, a monthly newsletter. But also as part of that, you might want to do surveys. So we have an inbuilt survey tool. There's loads and loads of these, lots and lots of options on the survey side of things. We use the Microsoft Technology Forms Pro. We've also used others. And this is a very, very simple survey tool, which would allow us effectively to build a survey, and I can show you it, which will allow us to build a survey, again, non-code. So you can see the information here, first name, last name, email address, how would you like to refer us, etc., and submit it. Build that survey with no code, input it into our customer journey. So 48 hours after everybody's been on a holiday, they get their survey link. Once it's set up once, which doesn't take very long at all, it's there and it's going on and on and on. And the great thing is, because the survey is just a hyperlink, anytime you change the format of the survey, anytime you change the look and the feel, it will adopt it as part of your journey. It's all automatic. And then the further great thing is you get your responses back in CRM. So if I jump into Nathan Williams's response here, I can see that the survey tool, this is the survey he's responded to. It gives a net promoter score, which is a bit, actually, I'll bypass that. But the artificial intelligence that Microsoft embeds analyzes, do we think that the sentiment of the survey was positive or negative? And it does that based on the scores. And then you can see the survey responses. So we've got the actual information that Nathan's put in and the question responses down here. So things like, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? How likely are you to visit again? And what we do as part of our journeys or as part of our internal processes is, if somebody scores a survey question, or the overall average score of the survey is, for example, below 50%, or in this case at a question level below 5, then it automatically emails the customer service team to say, hey guys, this customer has scored us a 5 or less on this question. Please follow up with them and find out why. It's having all of that data at your fingertips to allow you to effectively target, personalize, and change your behavior. Sorry, just grabbing a drink. And again, those surveys, you can expand them to an ownership survey, you can expand them to anything. You can expand them to a deep, clean post survey if you want. They are completely tailorable, customizable, and distributable by you in your CRM system. Now, a couple of the other things we have is the customer service module, which I'll come on to, and the part management overview. So what the part management side of things allows us to do is go in and by park analyze the overview of that current park, the staff working there, the general information about the park, the bookings that are attributed to that park from a past, present and historic perspective, deals as well, the units, etc. The full park overview is available within that record. So it will give a complete overview of that park at that point in time. Now I'm going to move on to customer service, because this is a module that we're experimenting with. It's a module that we're seeing a little bit of uptake in, but effectively what it is case management. It's the ability to collect effectively customer service queries or feedback. And we can see some of the examples in here. Some of them are negative. I don't want it to be seen as negative. It could be an improvement perspective. But we've got, for example, a case in here, somebody complained about the kitchen utensils. So if I go into this case, I can see that Nathan Williams was a customer. He phoned in. We have some follow-up dates for internal purposes. We can see the type of complaint. So was it a customer complaint, an employee complaint? We can see the park it was against, but I think this is probably the most important. We can see the booking it was tagged against. So there you've got the full sales cycle. You'll have the booking for the customer. You'll have the post-booking survey that I just showed you. You've got a post-booking case attributed to that booking, all as part of that customer record. So it'll give you a great insight into that customer and how they're interacting with you from a sales, marketing and customer service perspective. Okay, and again, sorry, just to finish on this point, cases can be entered as part of any process, web forms, as part of a survey implementation, as part of calling up, as you can see, original phone, in face-to-face, and you'll see some of the options, Facebook, Twitter, and IoT stands for Internet of Things, but don't baffle yourself with that at the minute. So you do have social media channels that can plug into this as well. Now that brings us quite nicely onto the extensibility of CRM. Now, it's really important to understand that CRM is effectively part of the Dynamics 365 stack. Dynamics 365 is a platform to grow your business. You'll see in the top left-hand corner of the CRM module, all of the apps that integrate out of the box with Dynamics 365 and CRM. So you've got your Excel integration, your OneDrive, your OneNote. Outlook is such a big part of that integration. So for example, if you're a salesperson liaising with a lead or liaising about an appointment and you have an email with that person, you can track that from your Outlook with one click against that lead or against that customer's record. If you've got information about a deal or information about a booking or a task to follow up on, those information with the Outlook integration can be built in Outlook, created in Outlook, and then sent through to CRM with one click. But you've also got lots and lots of other integrations. You've got the social engagement channels, which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. You've got Power BI, which is an animal of a reporting tool, which we wouldn't really need to talk about at this point because we think the dashboards satisfy a lot of the core reporting requirements at this point. But that, I promise you, that's a big reporting tool. So this is just the Microsoft Stack integration. You've got Word if you wanted to distribute PDFs and Word templates. But there, like I said, there are hundreds of thousands of add-on supported apps. You've seen DocuSign. There are things for Experian. There's things for credit checking. There's things for apps for pretty much everything that you just plug and play into CRM to allow it to become not just your CRM platform. It could become your ERP, your operations platform, your HR platform if you wanted it to become that. So that's the extensibility from an application perspective and external applications and integrations. But this CRM, what I've shown you is EliteCRM. It's how personalization, you know, when I go to the sales module and I see leads, bookings, and deals, if I'm a retailer, I want to see leads, sales opportunities, and customer products. So what we've done is we've taken the CRM platform and we've built it targeting holiday parks and personalized it to holiday parks by creating things like bookings and deals. That's where EliteCRM comes from. But CRM is and can be expanded, and we're actually exploring it right now, taking the core CRM functionality and applying it to manufacturers and caravan and lodge manufacturers, and building a CRM and sales system and marketing system around that functionality because of its extensibility, because of its customization capability. Okay, so as you can probably tell by my tone, I'm a bit of a Dynamics geek. So I apologize if I've ranted on a bit there. That pretty much concludes the functional overview of the webinar. What I wanted to jump to now is just a bit of a summary of the benefits, or what I see as the benefits of a CRM platform to not just the holiday park, but just in general, because there's a lot of content there, and I think it's important to jump to here. Apologies. So from our perspective, and this is, you know, factual based, the benefits of CRM, and especially when you come to COVID now, and you come to the fact that everybody's working from home or remotely, and you're non-contact, the available anywhere, anytime, and also on any device. So if you have a 4G connection on your mobile, you can download the CRM app. On your laptop, on your tablet, the unified interface, a lot of technical mumbo jumbo there to effectively say look and feel of CRM is the same regardless of the device you're on. And the fact it's available anywhere, anytime. I could be at home, I could be, you know, in an airport waiting for a flight, and I can dial into my CRM as long as I've got some sort of internet connection. And I guess on that basis of that, it supports remote working. So your ability to progress your sales, if you're a salesperson, progress your leads, contact your customers, if you're marketing, to start to build your email templates and send your marketing campaigns, if your customer service, interact with your customers from a case perspective or remotely. And then on the contactless perspective, using CRM to do things like contactless check-in or automating that whole process. They book on, they get sent a QR code, and as they come into the park, they scan. So contactless check-in is something that can easily be done as part of this platform. And I've talked to you again about it being on the Microsoft 365 platform. Microsoft 365 platform effectively providing a common data platform for everything, not just customers, for your booking analysis, your deal analysis, your salesperson analysis, customer service, marketing, the list goes on. And again, on the Microsoft side of things, all of the out-of-the-box integrations, Teams, everybody's using Teams now during COVID. So all of that integration where you can build in Teams, you can build in communication and collaboration on sales and marketing, the Office integration for Outlook, Word, Excel, and again, the Outlook integration for activity and that type of tracking. And then going more into the functionality side of things, the automation side of things. So if a lead comes into CRM from the website, automatically acknowledge it. Send an email to that person to say, we've got your lead, we'll follow up within the next couple of hours. And then as part of that automation, send a notification to the sales team internally for them to follow up with it. And the customer journeys, we have templated customer journeys for bookings and deals. So on the booking side of things, 12 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 1 week out, send them emails just to get them ready for their holiday. On the day of arrival, after their holiday, send them their survey. All automatic. Once it's in, it's done, and it just turns away in the background. From an ownership perspective, completed deal, send them communication about that, their 1 month anniversary, their 1 year anniversary, that type of communication, all automatic, all personalized. You've seen the reporting and segmentation. So the ability to, with all the data being in the platform, the ability just to interrogate it, dynamically filter it, and look at the data applicable to you and your job role. The customer insight and targeting, I think I should have put probably towards the top of the list, because if I as a salesperson or a marketeer or as customer service know that I've got a meeting with Nathan Williams, and I can go into his record and see that he's complained twice in the last month, he's been on 3 holidays with us, he spent this amount, he interacts with this type of marketing, he's spoken to Joe Blogs on reception 4 times, that's invaluable to me to be able to then tailor the way I approach maybe my meeting or my email communication to that person or to that group of persons if we're doing a mail shot. And then the extensibility and the scalability of the platform. So plugging in the apps, plugging in DocuSign, using the Outlook integration and going further and further, like I said, customizing CRM, not just to the holiday parks industry, but to the manufacturers of the world, and to, if you wanted to, expose it to retail, etc., etc., etc. Really, the platform is there for us to do what we want with it. And we try to encourage our customers to come up with some great, wacky, sometimes crazy ideas that we would explore and look to expand CRM with. Okay, so just to wrap up in terms of how we bring all this together, obviously you guys have seen, or most of you have, Elite Parks or Elite Finance, and this is effectively our solution set, and the image is intended to show that these all systems are all effectively on that Microsoft platform. Elite Parks, Elite Finance, Elite CRM, all talking to each other, all connected, bringing all information into one place to allow for this type of functionality. Okay, I've run over by 2 minutes slightly, but that does bring us to our Q&A. So I'm just going to open up the chat window, and there are a couple of questions, so I'll just address them as and when they come in. I'm not going to identify the person who's asked them. I'll keep it all anonymous. So one question, can EliteCRM integrate with any other park management system, or do we have to have yours Elite Parks? No, so the EliteCRM solution is, if I go back to this icon here, this is going to be a little bit more informal now, guys. So the EliteCRM solution is built on the Dynamics platform, and yes, it integrates with Elite Parks, and yes, it integrates with Elite Finance, but you can effectively pick it up and you can plonk it on top of any park management system. So we already have proof of concepts around the integration with Insight. We already have proof of concepts around the integration with Park View, and even something like Excel. You can plug Excel into it and effectively suck the data in to allow CRM to be your platform for whatever you want, and maybe just marketing, maybe sales, marketing, and customer service. So in short, sorry, I rabbled on there. Can EliteCRM integrate with any other park management system? Yes, it can. Second question, how long does it take to implement EliteCRM? So typically, EliteCRM is implemented over realistically a 6 to 10 week period. We work with you on deploying the initial solution. We work with you on understanding what you want out of it initially. We work with you on identifying your marketing platform, and really then the setup is done and in pretty quickly. The reason that we say 6 to 10 weeks is more around familiarization, more around user adoption. So trying to get to the point of understanding how you interrogate your data, how you personalize CRM so it's not just willy-nilly, so it's beneficial to you and to the business. And really that's what we try to emphasize as part of that 6 to 10 week program. It's more, the onus is on you with EliteCRM. With Elite Parks and Elite Finance, you have pretty much defined operational processes that you have to go through to come to an outcome. With EliteCRM, you can kind of make it up as you go along if you have the freedom to do that, and if you as a platform allow that. So we work with you, we work with your super users, we work with your end users to ensure that you have the understanding and capability to adopt the system correctly rather than just go off piste. Okay, third question. Can I access EliteCRM from my phone if I am out on park? Absolutely. So there's a phone app built by Microsoft free of charge. There is a tablet app, and obviously you can access it on, I'm doing it on computer, on laptop, etc. It's all effectively, whether it's app-based or web browser-based, you can access it from anywhere. As long as you have an internet connection, you can go onto your browser and access the URL for CRM, or you can have the app if you're on the phone or the tablet and open it from there. And this is where it's great, because if you're with a customer, you could interactively sign the contract, for example, or if you're just about to go into a meeting, you can have your app open and see your customer overview. Or if you need to record a lead, let's say you're in a meeting and a lead comes up, you could open your app, create a lead, and then you know when you go back to CRM on your computer, it's there and you can start to work on it. So you can access it from your phone and any other device as long as you have an internet connection. With government social distancing, how would we be trained? Okay, so last question, guys. With the COVID-19 situation, etc., how would we be trained? So we're going through a couple of iterations with customers at the minute where we're doing interactive training courses on CRM. So as part of a standard implementation, we're doing remote interactive training courses. So we will identify the super user or group of super users, and then they will get remote super user training, which is a lot of, I'll be honest, me or my colleagues talking, but there are actions and targets and jobs you've got to do as part of that training to show that you are effectively capable of being a super user, and that's all remote. And then we do a follow-up session as well as part of that to ensure that you're happy and you're comfortable, and there's obviously a period of UAT, all remotely, where we engage with you to ensure that you're happy. The end user training, exactly the same, utilizing things like Teams, utilizing things like GoToMeeting for this webinar. We do all of our training remotely. I'm conscious, I am very conscious of the fact that remote training doesn't resonate, or stereotypically doesn't resonate with the full audience. But what we try to do to combat that is we build in breaks, we build in activity, we build in collaboration. So it's not just us nattering on for a long period of time. And that will allow us then to deliver the training appropriately with post-training feedback to ensure that if there's any functionality that was confusing, any functionality that you missed, we just recap it in a separate session. Oh, a question just come in. Last question then. So is CRM or EliteCRM already set up to be fully GDPR compliant? It is. So the GDPR compliancy is a little bit of a loose statement, because the GDPR compliancy is kind of specific to each park. Like, for example, we've done implementations with customers where they say if they unsubscribe from that marketing email, then they unsubscribe from all marketing channels, and that's fine. And we've had some customers, and we build that in, and that's out of the box. And we've had some customers saying, well, no, we have different marketing channels for owners, for bookings, for newsletters, for special offers. So we extend CRM slightly through the subscription management that we have built in, that allows us to say, well, only unsubscribe from that particular marketing channel. And then just to go a little bit more in detail on GDPR, the marketing channel, that marketing information using CRM to distribute emails to customers, distribute emails to prospect, etc., is the marketing side of things, where we would build in GDPR, where we would build in, if they unsubscribe, that unsubscribe activity sits in CRM, it's against that customer record, therefore we can automatically take them off our distribution lists, or even block them if you wanted to get to that extent. There's a lot of quite rich functionality around GDPR. But then when it comes to things like the booking journey or the owner journey, which is in brackets a transactional email because they've made a booking with you, that can bypass, and does as part of our system, it bypasses the GDPR preferences, because you have consent automatically to email or communicate with these people on that level because they've made a booking or because they've committed to a deal. So we also separate that GDPR side of things with the transactional emails and the marketing emails. So in short, is CRM set up to be fully GDPR compliant? Yes, it is. And we work with you on employing and introducing your own GDPR rules as well. Okay, so that is the end of the questions. That is the end of the webinar at this point. The intention is that we can distribute some information about CRM and EliteCRM. We welcome you to get in touch. We welcome you to come back with any questions. I could talk about CRM and the Dynamics 365 platform all day, as you could probably tell. So if you wanted to get in touch and discuss what it can do, what it can't do, what it could do, then feel free. All the information's on screen. And that effectively concludes our webinar. I'll probably hand back to Jermaine at this point to wrap up, if he's still available.
I'm still here. Of course I'm still here, sir.
And I'll sign off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan. Just to reiterate what Nathan said, guys, if any of you are interested in any further information regarding CRM, you've got our contact details here. Our intention is to publish the webinar on our YouTube channel and on our website. So if you can give us a day or two, it will be made available to you. And I'd just like to thank you very much for taking your time out of your day today to allow us to present CRM to you. Hopefully it was a good use of your time. But any questions, please let us know. Take care during this trying time, and we'll hope to be back to some form of normality very soon. Thank you.